Hello, welcome to Thursday, December 8th, 2022. I am Mrs. Crowley. I'm a third grade teacher here at LOSA, and I'm going to walk you through our Thursday ELA lesson. So let's take a look. Let's start with the warm-up. A cell phone company sold 492 cell phones to customers in January and 267 cell phones to customers in February. What is the difference between the numbers of cell phones sold in these 2 months? Okay, if you will remember your cubes strategy, we should circle our numbers. I see 492 and 267. And then I'm going to underline the question. What is the difference between the numbers of cell phones sold in these 2 months? Now I'm going to box important information. I'm going to box the word difference. What does difference mean? Difference means we are taking away. When we do subtraction, the biggest number always goes first. So let's put up the biggest number, 492, and we're going to take away the smaller number, 267. And now we subtract. Can I take 7 if I only have 2? No. I only have 2. I can't get 7 out of them. So I'm going to have to borrow from the neighbor. The neighbor has 9, so let's take 1 from him. And remember, this is a group of tens. This is the tens column. So I'm going to move the tens over here. Now I have 12. 12, take away 7. Quick. 12, take away 7. Another strategy you can use, because you may be looking at your fingers and going, I don't have 12 fingers. You don't have 12 fingers. But one thing you can do is take the smaller number 7, and we can count up to 12. Watch. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I have 12 and I take 7 away, there are 5 left. So there's you a quick way to do that. That is very helpful, especially if you struggle with subtraction. All right, let's go to the tens column. 8, take away 6. How many is 8? Take away 6. 2. Very good. And 4 take away 2. I know you've got that in a snap. Half of 4 is 2. Takes 2 2s to make 4 double up. Very good. Okay, let's move on. Today, you are going to determine relationships between multiplication and division, so that you can solve story problems using that relationship between multiplication and division. And you'll know you've got it if you can explain the relationship between multiplication and division by solving the story problems correctly. Let's get started. If you need to jot these down, feel free to do so. You probably have already had them because we've been doing multiplication and division for a while now. So here's multiplication, the process or the skill of multiplying. Factors are the 2 numbers that you multiply together, and the product is the answer to the multiplication problem. And the multiplication problem can be vertical, up and down, can be horizontal, all sideways. Still the same things in your vocabulary. Still the 2 that are being multiplied are factors, and the answer is the product. All right, next, division vocabulary. You probably already have these 2. So division is the process of taking a whole number and splitting it into groups. The divisor is the number you divide by. The dividend is the number you want to divide, or the largest number. And the quotient is the answer to the division problem. All right, if you need to copy, pause the video to finish copying before you move on. All right, here are some strategies. I would recommend that you put these in your math notebook, and you should probably pause the video to copy it if you don't get it copied down before I'm through explaining. Okay, so some multiplication strategies. The first one is equal groups. So we could take 4 groups with 3 in a group. We could take 3 groups with 4 in a group. Notice the picture here looks like an array. It's just got pictures of worms instead. All right, you can use repeated addition. 4 times 3 means you're adding 4 3 times. You can skip count. You could skip count by 3s 4 times, or you could skip count by 4 3 times. Or you can draw an array of 3 columns, 4 rows, 4 columns, 3 rows, either way to get your answer. Now division, we can use almost all the exact same thing. We can use equal groups. Notice they look like an array. You can use, excuse me, repeated subtraction. You can subtract 3 from 12 over and over and over until you get to 0. You can do skip counting. You can count by 3s till you get to 12. And you can do fact families. You can use 12 divided by 3, which is the same thing as 12 divided by something else is 3. If you know one of those answers, you can use it to flip-flop because of the associative properties. All right, and then we have 3 times something is 12, or something times 3 is 12. If you knew one of those, if maybe you didn't know anything but 3 times 4 is 12. Now you have your missing family member, and you can plug it in throughout your fact family. Okay, if you need time to copy, please do so before you move on. Okay, let's take a look at fact families. So think of fact families as a family. You have grandparents, you have parents, and then you have kids. So your smallest number would be the kids, they're the youngest. Your next smallest number would be the parents, and the old wise ones would be the biggest number, the grandparents. So in your family, it doesn't matter if your grandparents are at your house or somewhere else. Same grandparents. Doesn't matter if you get in the car first or your sister. Same siblings. So think of it like that. So we have 7 times 3 is 21. Okay? Well, because of the commutative property, 3 times 7 is 21. It doesn't matter which order, they both have the same answer. The same goes for the division. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So every single one of these problems, you have 2 multiplication problems and 2 division problems, and they're all going to have the same 3 numbers. We'll look at one more. 4, 8, and 32. So we have 4 times 8 is 32. We have 8 times 4 is 32. We have 32 divided by 4 is 8, and 32 divided by 8 is 4. Same family members, doesn't matter which order they get in the car. Same ones. All right? And then we have the fact triangle that we can remember with multiplication and division with the turnaround rule. Same exact thing. If 24 is equal to 8 times 3, 24 is also equal to 3 times 8. If you have 3, it can be equal to 24 divided by 8. All they did was flip the answer to the front instead of at the back. It doesn't make the problem incorrect, still correct. All right, let's move on. Let's do some practice. Okay, looking at fact families, you will see sometimes in math, you will see this little house. This little house will have up here at the top 3 numbers. See, there's number 72 right here. There's a number 9 right here, and there's a number 8 right here. And then in the middle, it tells you whether you add and subtract or multiply and divide. Sometimes you just have to know. Sometimes they'll put it there. All right, so on this one, they want us to multiply and divide. So when we multiply, we know the two smaller numbers multiplied together is going to be the biggest number. So we have 9 times 8 is 72. And remember, it doesn't matter which order you get in the car. Let's flip it. 8 times 9 is 72. And then when we do division, the biggest number goes first, just like with subtraction. 72 divided by 9 would be 8. 72 divided by 8 would be 9. Just a big old circle of 3 numbers. All right, now look at the next house and you'll see that there is a 50, a 10, and a 5. But there's no numbers to tell us to add and subtract or multiply and divide. So I have to try it. What is 10 plus 5? 10 plus 5 is only 15. And if you look at 50, that's not the same. So it must be multiplication. All right, so again, we have 10 times 5 is 50, or 5 times 10 is 50. And then when we divide, the biggest numbers first. 50 divided by 10 is 5. 50 divided by 5 is 10. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, let's take a look at this one. It's not in a house. Does that mean it's going to be different? No, because it still says fact families. If it's a family, we're making these 3 take turns doing stuff, right? All right, let's look at the first one up here. 7 times 8. All right, so I have my 7 and my 8 already. So what do I need? I need the 56. All right, what's missing in the second one? 8 times blank equal 56. The 7's missing. Let's put the 7 in. The 56 divided by 8 is equal to, find 56, find 8. What's missing? The 7. And then 56 divided by 7, 8. Very good. Okay, let's try the bottom one. We have a 20, a 4, and a 5. Look at the first line. What is missing? A 4 is missing. I see the 5. I see the 20, but I do not see 4. All right, what about the second line? If it's 4 times 5, or 5 times 4, it's 4 times blank is 20. We're missing 5. They didn't even flip them around that time. Did you notice that? All right, 20 divided by 4 is 5. And what divided by 5 is 4? Which number's missing? The 20. I think you can do this. It's not too hard. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Draw yourself a little triangle at the top, and then we're going to fill in these boxes. Now, we don't know if it's multiply or add in the triangle, but if we look at the boxes they gave us, it's multiplication and division. That would mean that my smallest numbers are going down here first. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. Now I'm just going to flip them. I already did the 8, so let's put the 2 first. 2 times 8 is still 16. Doesn't matter what order. And then we're doing division, so remember the big number has to go first. 16 divided by, we could do the 8. What number's missing? The 2. And then on this one, 16. Now you can't put the 8 again. If you do, it's not a complete family. The family's when it all takes turns. So make sure that you do the divided by 2, and it is equal to 8. All right. Okay, now let's look at the next one. It's multiplication again, so our 2 smaller numbers will go in the first boxes. So we have the 8 times 5 is equal to 40. And then we're just flip-flopping the 8 and the 5. 5 times 8 is equal to 40. And then this is division, so the big number goes first. 40 divided by 5 is 8. And 40 divided by 8, and I can't write on that part, is 5. Okay. I hope you're getting the hang of this. If you need to finish copying, please pause the video before going on. Alright guys, let's take a look and do some practice here. It says, which of the following division equations is related to the same fact family as 3 times 6 is equal to 18? Now remember, the family has all the same members. So that means all the numbers are going to be the same. Let's start back down here with D. There's a 12. Is there a 12 up there in our one we're looking at here? This 3 times 6 is 18? No, there's no 12, so it's not that one. Here's a 24 divided, it's not 24. There's no 24. There is a 6. B has a 6 and a 3. But it doesn't have a 2. It has an 18, so it's not that one. 18, 18. 6, 6, 3, 3. We have a winner. A is our correct answer for that. All right. Moving on. Okay, so he says find the quotient. I know that the quotient is my answer to a division problem. Find the quotient to the division problem below. 72 divided by 8 is equal to. Okay, I don't really have a fact family here. What are some of my strategies? I could build an array. One way to build the array would be to just make 8 in a row and keep going till I get to 72. Thinking about all the different possibilities, I think that might be the easiest one. So I'm just going to make an array here, and I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is not going to be pretty. All right, and then I'm just going to keep going until I get to the number 72. Takes a while, but until you learn your multiplication facts, it might take a while. All right, so I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, whew, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This is going a little faster than I thought. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. Oh, I was worried. I thought I was going to have to go up to the top and make another row. All right, so we knew we did 8 dots across. Let's count how many rows we have. 1, 2, let's make lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 here and 8 there to make 72 dots. So our answer should be B. Don't be fooled when you see one that says not here, because a lot of people think, oh, well, I've never seen that very much, so it must be the right answer. Always be careful. Always count it out. All right, moving right along. It says, which one of the following number sentences does not belong with the rest? So they're asking us about fact families. I'm going to give you just a second to look at which one does not belong with the others. Think about what a fact family is. All right, have you had a chance? It should be a pretty quick look. So, we're looking at fact families. We want the same 3 numbers in every row. So which one does not belong? A. A has a 5 and a 35, but none of the others have a 5 and a 35. So A is the one that does not belong with the rest. Now we're going to look at the missing numbers. See how they put an N in here? They refer to this as algebra, where they mix letters with numbers. I was so confused about this when I was young. Guess what? The number, it's just a blank. I mean, the letter is just a blank for a number. That's all it is. They could have put a blank line there, and instead somebody thought it would be a great idea to put a letter instead. Silly, silly. Okay, so what I see is 4 times something is equal to 28. Now, remember, there are several strategies. You could do an array. You could do 4 in a row and then keep going until you get to 28. You could do 4 circles for equal groups and count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Kind of made my circles too small. Luckily, I know my math facts. So if I count in my circle, there are 7 in 4 equal groups. All right. And then for the next one, this number 36 here, we have something times 10 is equal to 50. Please remember that zeros in multiplication will cancel out if they're on the opposite sides for division, or you add a 0 when you multiply. So now I'm left with a 1 and a 5. I know that anything times 1 is its own number. So 5 times 10 is equal to 50. Okay, find the missing number. Which one of the following numbers will make this multiplication equation below true? All right, pause here, get your paper or your notebook, and work this out. 8 times blank is equal to 24. You could make 8 equal groups. You could do an array with 8 in a row and keep counting till you get 24. You could use fact families. Pause here if you need time to work it out. The answer is 3. This one, I probably would have made an array of 8, because even though it takes a minute to do 8, 24 is not that big a number. All right, let's go. Let's see if we can think about fact families, if that will help with this one. It might not help a lot if you're not really keen on those multiplication facts. All right, it says, which number sentence can be used to find the number that goes in the box? Now, I'm going to use a little bit of educated guessing here. If you could narrow down your choices to 2, the chance of you getting it right are much higher. One thing I notice is that the problem that we are looking at right here is divide. Well, adding is not in the same section as division. So I'm crossing out the two addition problems because they're not going to go with that. Now I just have to decide if 12 divided out would make 6 times 2, or is it going to make 24? Now when I think through this logically, I could do like 12 circles and divide them into 2s and count how many. But I also know when you divide that this is the biggest number, so the number's going to be smaller because you have two small numbers and one big number. The biggest number is at the front of division. So it's going to have to be B because 24 is bigger than 12. All right, we are nearly done. Let's try solving this one. It says, what number goes in the box to make a true statement? 50, 8, 9, 40. All right, let's think about what we know. We know that the product of a multiplication problem is the biggest number. So 50 is bigger than 45. It's not going to be that one. 40, it's not bigger than 45, is it? It's close. But one thing I know is when I multiply, there would be a 0 in the answer because there's a 0. So it's not that one. So now I've narrowed it down to 8 times 5 is 45 or 9 times 5 is 45. Now remember, with 5s, you could actually count them on your hands. You can say, I can do it till I get to 45. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And my answer is 9. All right. All right, guys, let's see. What is the quotient of the division problem below? All right, think about it. One thing I know about the quotient, it's division, so the biggest number is the first number. So it's not going to be bigger than 15. So I can go down right away and mark off letter C because number 20 is bigger than 15. Okay. The second thing I notice is that B is an addition, and we're not doing addition, we're doing multiplication and division, so it's not that one. So we just have to decide if A is correct or if the answer is not correct, because if A is not correct, then we're going to circle D, not here. That means the answer is not here. All right, so 3, because 3 times 5 is 15. Well, I can check that. 5, 10, 15. That is right. So that means A is our best correct answer. Okay. All right, last one, folks, before we do our exit ticket. All right, Carl planted 8 tomato plants in each of the 6 garden plots in his backyard. How many tomato plants did Carl plant in his backyard? All right, pause it here so you can work it out. You have 6 garden plots. That tells me that I'm going to make 6 garden plots. Remember that they like for you to show your thinking. And Miss Crowley is not super strong at math, so she does this to keep her thinking clear anyway. And this is a perfectly acceptable way to show your thinking. All right, I made 6 plots. I'm going to put 8 plants in each plot. So I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now if I count them all up, remember I can also do repeated addition I could add the number 8 6 times. And I'll bring my 24 up here so I have room. Now go back and count. I've added 1, 2, 3. I need, oh, no, these two are together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there are 48 tomato plants. I don't know that doing the addition over here, I don't think it was any faster than us drawing the model and counting them. I think that's actually a faster way. All right, guys, last slide, one more, and you are done. Exit ticket, exit ticket. There are a total of 36 bicycles in 6 rows at a bicycle shop. There are the same number of bicycles in each row. Which equation can be used to find the number of bicycles in each row? All right, so there are only 36 total bicycles. Total means that it's going to be either the answer or your biggest number for your division, right? Your dividend. All right, so 36 is going to be my biggest number. Well, just looking, I can see that 200 is not going to be right. And also, this one here, there's no 36. So I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so that leaves 6 times 6 is 36, or 36 take away 6 is equal to 30. Did it say they were taking away bicycles? No, they're putting them on in a row. So we're not taking away bicycles. Look at that, how easy that was. F is your best answer. You have 6 bicycles, 6 rows, and you get 36. All right, guys, make sure you do your OLS lessons. Be sure that you don't have any missing work. We are getting very close to Christmas time. Your parents are fixing to get a snapshot report card. You don't want them to be mad at you all Christmas break. Get your work done, work hard. See you soon. Bye, everybody.